Hey,
Hello.
Mark.
Hey, Wayne. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. Thank you.
Thanks for all that help on the phase one. I didn't copy you on it, but I got it sent to them yesterday,
All
and
right.
so it
That's good.
was. They today they said they thanked me very much for getting it to them. So
Yeah.
anyway, a minute or two.
Yeah. You want to open up?
Um, Give me a second here, just to move
Sure.
something. Yes,
Okay.
I gotta get my camera set up right. All right, go ahead. Let's go for it. Hey, everybody. How are you all doing? We are here and excited to get going today with Talk with Wayne. And I've got Mark behind the glass and all of you out in the audience. And we'll go for about an hour and we'll just talk about stuff. And I've got some topics that I want to talk about, but more importantly, I want to hear about yours if you have them. And we will talk about them and just have some fun. Mark, how about you? What do you got in mind for today? You got anything that's on your head and heart?
Oh, just wondering how everybody celebrated their holidays. So,
Yeah, yeah.
how was yours, Wayne?
That was nice. Because I'm leaving right a little bit later today after this to go to California and be with my family for a family reunion and my father-in-law's 90th birthday. I didn't do a lot yesterday, but we had one of our ranch helpers that was with us who lives in Alabama, and she wasn't able to go home to her family. So it was nice for her to have a extended family to be with. So we celebrated with her and we watched a movie that I'm going to talk about today a little. It's getting a lot of press right now. I don't know whether you've heard about it over in Bangladesh, Mark, but it's one that just came out in theaters last Friday called The Homestead, and we watched it last night. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's just great, but it was interesting. And so we had a good day. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for asking.
All
What
right.
about those in the audience? You guys put in the chat what kind of a day you guys had? Um, because we've got a bunch of folks out there, and we've got our regulars, and we've got several new people, and I appreciate that here in these holiday times. Anybody that wants to raise their hand, which you can just do on the bar for Zoom, you can do that, and Mark will unmute you. And then please put things in the chat, and we'll talk about things you put in. And where are you at today, Alicia? Alicia's one of our regulars, and it seems like every week she's somewhere else. She travels more than anybody that I know, and she just seems to be somewhere different. So we'll see where she's at today. And then interestingly, I asked about this last week. There's a note taker using Otter AI, and I'm actually going to show that website today because I downloaded Otter and I haven't started to use it at all. But I'd love to hear if other people have had experience with it. And we looks like we lost one of our people that's out there, that's out in the audience that's new, I saw. But anyway, if the fellow that's using Otter would want to share with us how they're using it, it'd be awesome because that would teach the rest of the group about how they could use it themselves. Otter is just a tool, and there's a lot of them out there. Gemini is the one that I think Apple's using now, and obviously OpenAI and ChatGPT is one that we all have used. And Alicia's in Cape May, New Jersey today. And how was your holiday, Alicia? Where did you spend it yesterday? I asked Mark on Tuesday, on Christmas Eve, how anybody who did celebrate Christmas in Bangladesh would do it, and if there was any kind of um, what did I call it, Mark? How did I describe it? Any kind of persecution that those people might
Mhm.
have to deal with. I didn't use that word, I don't think, but I think that's a good one to use.
Yeah.
And you said no. And I didn't ask a read because we didn't actually talk because of yesterday being the holiday,
Hmm.
um, of how they would be handled in Pakistan. Um, I
Yeah.
actually think there might be more of a chance for some, I wouldn't use the word persecution, that's too strong, but maybe,
Disturbances, maybe some sort of disturbance, maybe. But I used to get invited to Christmas parties. I even played at some of the, like when I had a band, and I played at some of the parties of
oh, you
Christmas.
did? Oh, cool.
Yes, yeah. And because I went to a Christian school, missionary school, so I had a bunch of friends who celebrated that back in was 90s, 80s, or late 80s, 90s. So that's when I just started out playing, and yeah, I used to get invited to their parties all the time. Yeah.
Mark, what influence is AI having on music right now? And as a musician, are you worried about it?
I've heard a bunch of musicians complain about it, and one thing is that a lot of new music is coming out because of AI. It's a lot more than it's the volume. It's a lot more people that are producing music right now, and that's a problem for. I think it's commercial music. It's in danger, so nobody's able to make money now as much, and unless you're very famous. Other than that, little bands they're struggling. Even my guitarist friend, he said he can make better music with AI than what he plays. When I was talking to him, so that's I encourage like technology, but when these people say that AI can play better guitar than what I play, then he doesn't need to he doesn't need to do anything. So
Yeah, that's sad, actually, when that happens. Um, what what have you seen directly? Has anybody copied any of the music that you've produced previously and somehow protected with copyright or whatever? Have you seen anything copied that you thought wow, I wish they wouldn't have done that. Um,
uh, no, I haven't seen like um, what I've seen is a lot of people claim that that music is theirs, or they change a little, they put some other track on top of other music and then claim that they own it. Hasn't happened to me, but a lot of I've seen that happening.
by the way, everybody, Mark shared with me Monday, he's trying to put his band back together, and he has three of his bandmates, or even one who might be a new one, that are interested, but he needs a couple more. So if you've got any friends in Bangladesh, make sure you let Mark know about
Right.
it. So we can get his band back together. Um, what's what's the weather in Bangladesh right now?
It's pleasant. We had 68, I think. High was 70s, and yeah, it's very pleasant.
And
So
everybody, this can be a real hot time of the year for Mark in both Bangladesh and then in
Pakistan, yeah,
Pakistan.
yep.
So, um,
Yeah.
and and then what about sort of the political climate with Miramar and so on? Is I haven't read anything in the last maybe year Have
Uh-huh.
things quieted down, or is there still a lot of problems across the border from you?
Myanmar, I think they are quieting down. They don't have as much problems now. But in my country, it's always something going on with political parties. So the other day, on Christmas Day, uh, the Secretariat Office of Government was on fire, and the reporters were saying that it was due to a short circuit in the wiring, but I have reasons to believe that it was sabotage, and some people did that, and
Wow.
so things like that happening, time, uh, might be separate incidents, happen here and there. So yeah.
Um, your your son's getting old enough that he probably just instead of just doing school things would have some thoughts about world politics or even just Bangladeshi politics. Has he ever shared that at all, or is he still in that just teenage years where all he cares about is whatever he's doing himself?
Funny thing is, I don't communicate as much with my son, and what I see is that he's interested in games more than anything. So either video games or some sort of outdoor activities. But I don't think he has any view on politics or anything like that. But I think I should be, talking to him about that more often, and because I like to spend time with my daughter a lot. She plays with me, so my son, I think he's more of like a introvert kind of guy, so he's always doing something himself other than
And
sharing.
and and is he 15 now?
Yeah, he's 15, 16. He'll be 16. Oh yeah, he's 15 now. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And
Yeah.
Serena's what? Six?
Serena is 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool age though.
Yes.
She'll be daddy now. So she's
Right.
all right. Well, anyway, couple comments on the chat. Snowy owl rescued near Duluth, Minnesota. I'm sure that happens a little bit. Probably there's lots of snowy owls in Minnesota. Severe erosion in Brazil. Um, you put something in the Alicia put a really long different sets of some things in the Q&A. So as we come out with the replay for this, everybody can go look at those. There's a YouTube videos. There's stuff about these owls that were found. Anyway, lots of things. Weather, and I talked about weather. Weather here in the United States is interesting because out on the West Coast, there are some of the largest um, swells, storm swells that are hitting the West Coast that have hit in years, many, many, many years. A place called Santa Cruz. There were some a swell is a wave, so big waves that destroyed a portion of a big pier that's been there for 100+ years and never had been damaged before. So very unusual. There's a lot of rain and snow on the coast of Washington and the coast of Oregon. And so it's very severe. And then New York City had a white Christmas yesterday. There was like an inch of snow in the um, in the Central Park in New York. So that's not ridiculously unusual, but it probably happens once every 10 years or something like that. We are completely above freezing here. And I think if we don't get snow, they call it measurable snow here in Boise in the next week, we'll set a record for the latest date in history that there would have been a measurable amount of snow. We have not had a measurable amount of snow yet. So having a little bit of weird weather in lots of different places. Do you get typhoons at all this time of the year, or is that a summer phenomenon, Mark?
Mostly, it'll be in March or April. That then
Okay.
it's more common. Yeah, not at this time. It's not usual in the winter.
Okay. Well, I have a thing I want to quickly show, and I can just put it right on the camera. I'm going to bring it over. It's sitting on my desk. Um, it's a product that I just acquired this week that I'm kind of high on. It is a green product called Vamoose, and it is a rodent repellent. And it comes in little bags. There's a picture of one right there. There's 4 of them in this large bag. This large bag is $10, and it is a natural way to repel rodents. Rodents being mice, rats, voles, lots of those kinds of creatures. And instead of killing them, it actually pushes them away because it contains natural odors. And its primary product is peppermint. And I'd be curious if any of you have ever used peppermint to keep rodents out of a place where you have a problem with them, or if you've ever heard of this product, Vamoose. And it's made by a company called Bug MD, and they make safe plant-powered repellents of different kinds. So it doesn't kill, it doesn't create a problem if your pet were to eat one of these packets because it's a natural, but it will repel rodents because of the odor. So that's kind of cool. So I bought 4 bags of it that we're going to try in various different places where we have some rodent problems. And we do have them in some areas. Mark, do you have very many bug problems inside your buildings?
I think the most common problem is roach. So cockroach is a big problem,
Okay.
and also there are like some kind of like the water. Is it called a drain? Uh, some insect living in drains, pipes.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
those come out sometime. So those are also problem.
If you
Crawlers.
if you turned the lights out and then 2 hours later turned them right on, would there be roaches just kind of hanging out on floors and such?
Yeah.
That's the way it's in Florida. Very common.
In my apartment, the kitchen and bathroom, most common places. If you like, you might find few, crawling around, and as soon as you turn on the light, they're gone. Then they come out, like you can hear them, uh,
And
walking, and
how
then
big would they be?
we have like I think at least 3 types of roaches. So the bigger ones are about 2 inches, and then there are Chinese roaches. They're very small. So those are most common types, and the hardest one to kill are the small ones. Like they're like half an inch long, and those are called Chinese roach. I don't know if they came from China or not, but that's what commonly known as. Uh, so those are hard to get rid of.
There's a video that Alicia just put up that's a YouTube video about using peppermint for rodent control. We could look at that. And then Robert just said something very cool about a Western squirrel attacking and eating a vole that's on YouTube. And it must be one that's kind of gone viral. And we have squirrels, but our squirrels don't eat our rodents. I wish they would.
There's one more problem that we have is mosquito. So I don't know if
Okay.
so. Mosquitoes are everywhere, and mm, they're like uh, you know a lot of trouble for a lot of people. So like right now, I had to spray my whole room before I can start working. So otherwise, we'll be attacked. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
So I'm pulling up I'm sorry, I'm going to stop this one. This is a roto. Darn it. Ah, come on, stop it. Stupid ads. It's gotten to where you can't hardly watch a YouTube video without an ad. It wants me to order a hoodie. I'm going to just play this real quick and see, get rid of this stupid thing. Um, I had started to show something and didn't, and so I'm going to click on this rodent repellent video again.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just want to do a really quick review over this.
Here it is. Ah, it's playing twice.
Oh wow. Robert says there are 400,000 residents from Bangladesh. My friends have a New Jersey growing comfort food for the
So I'm
market.
showing this video.
Okay.
You guys seeing it?
No, I think you haven't shared your screen yet,
No,
but
I have.
let's see. No, it's not showing though. Oh yeah, now it is. Okay, but I think you haven't shared the audio because we're not hearing.
Oh, really? The audio's not showing? Shoot.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do to keep sharing the audio? Because usually when I show a video, it shows the audio too.
Yeah, there's a checkbox where it says share audio. It should come up like if you stop and start again, there should be a checkbox that says share audio.
I stopped.
Yeah, and then
So,
share one more
okay.
time. And see, there'll be two checkboxes like optimize for video and share audio in the corner.
Got it. Got it.
Okay, now it will work.
All right. Okay, we're going to start this over.
Just want to do a really quick review over this Mighty Mint rodent repellent. This is the
Hearing it
128
now,
ounce
everybody?
version, so it's a really nice
Mark,
size
you hearing
tub.
that?
Got this off
Yes.
of Amazon. Was looking for something that was environmentally friendly, but was also safe to get rid of pests, bugs, any sort of like a beetle or centipede, really anything, mice, all that kind of stuff. Was looking for something that would help repel those, get those away from the garage, away from the house, but also be safe if dogs especially, we didn't want the dogs licking it or a cat or anything licking it and getting poisoned from it. So this is very safe for that. It literally, I don't know if it'll pick up on my camera here, but as far as ingredients goes, it is literally water, glycerin, polyglycerol oleate, and soap. It's very, very natural, all natural ingredients, very safe. You're not gonna have to worry about your animals getting sick or poisoned if they were able to ever lick this or something. But it is active ingredients, 4% peppermint oil, and 96% inert ingredients. So it's not nothing with those crazy, all kinds of harmful chemicals in there. It's all natural repellent. Especially with mice and rats, they hate peppermint oil, that smell. It does really good with repelling bugs, just because it's such a strong smell. It does smell really, really nice. It literally smells like an Altoid or a peppermint or something. It's just a mighty mint, just like it's named. It smells really nice. We sprayed it, especially we were having issues with bugs in our garage getting in, and I sprayed that where we were having issues with them getting in. That was probably 3 weeks ago. On average, before I sprayed this, we were seeing about a beetle a day. Really, I was finding a beetle crawling in there nearly almost every day. Sprayed this about 3
it's
weeks
for
ago.
beetles too, Mark.
Kid
There
you
you
not,
go.
I've not
Get
seen
rid
a
of-
single
get rid of
bug.
those roaches.
It's incredible. This thing,
Yeah.
this product has been fantastic. Very, very useful. I was very impressed with it, and I would highly recommend anybody that is looking for some sort of a natural repellent for bugs to highly recommend y'all checking it out. Whenever you do get it, it does come with the actual detached spray nozzle here, and the hose is actually all inside of here. It's all stuffed in there. You just pull this out and you connect it on the nipple right here, and that is it. I have a video I will play during this video at some point, but you've got two options. So you've got a more direct nozzle. I don't know if my camera will pick it up there, but you can spray it in a more direct way. You can turn it once and it turns it off, and then if you turn it in, it is a more of a diffuse spray. I typically do the more direct style so I can focus on particular places that I feel like the bugs will be getting in the most. You could also do the softer.
So I'm going to stop the share there. Let's see how many views that guy got. It's not a great video. It's all right though. But he got over 1 million views of that thing. That's amazing. Anyway, so that looks like it might work for rodents also. What else did Alicia or anybody else in our audience put in for comments here? Some comments about more than healthcare industry. Again, Alicia's in New Jersey today, but right close to New York. In New York City, there's 2 boroughs. You were saying this, Mark. This is what I had the video playing over you talking, that have 400,000 residents from Bangladesh. You probably knew that. I mean, that's where you went to college, went to New York. You weren't in the city, I don't think, were you? You were upstate, weren't you, in college?
I was in Virginia.
You were Virginia. Okay,
Yep.
so you weren't in. But did you know that's a lot of people, 400,000.
Yes.
Bangladeshi,
Right.
Jersey.
Yeah, most people from my country go to New York because it's easier to get a job and they can work under the table without tax or anything illegally, and that's why a lot of people, like, it was easier before to stay illegally and work. A lot of people have done that, and what they did was they report asylum. So they don't want to go back and they want to be citizens or naturalized. So they apply in the INS, and then they get residentship and then eventually become citizens. So that's what's happening a lot in the US.
And how hard is it to get that visa in the first place?
Oh, it's nowadays it's very difficult. But before, a lot of people got visa. If they, if one people went to USA, they brought a lot of relatives over as tourists, and then they applied for residency. They didn't want to go back, and they could get residency very easily. But nowadays, it's very difficult. They get sent back.
Well, I don't see any other messages right now. There's this healthcare one, but it's a little bit off topic here today, so we won't go with that one. I wanted to just quickly show you that as we're discussing and doing more with our resort that we've purchased in the ranch, and that we're going to have our live classes at starting in the new year here coming up. We're looking at all kinds of different things to be able to offer there. And again, the weather's very mild. There's a lot of things we can even be doing through the winter that when we were in Colorado, we wouldn't have been able to do. So that's really very cool. And one of them is growing mushrooms in the winter. And I was just going to do a little bit of a search here as we talk about specialty mushrooms grown indoors for high-end restaurants. Because supposedly there's a restaurant in Seattle that does that. And so I was curious if we could pull it up and look at it. Here's one in Los Angeles. Let me pull, this is kind of cool, a downtown indoor or farm growing mainly oyster mushrooms, I think. Oyster mushrooms. They produce 1,000 pounds a week, 15 varieties, lion's mane, shiitake, chestnut, king trumpet, hen of the woods, yellow, pink, and blue oyster mushrooms. Boy, this would be a small world if the guy's name that's doing this is named Will Pfeffer. And he started it during the pandemic. And now he has what's called Fungi Valley. So I'm going to look them up. Let's look up Fungi Valley mushrooms. Here it is. I'm going to share this. So let's share my screen again. I don't think I'll need to have voice this time. Here it is. So this is this Fungi Valley. It's their website. And they're grown love in Los Angeles. And here's a whole bunch of their varieties. Pretty cool. Let's see. Wonder how much, what do you think? How much does live, if you bought from their store, take a guess before it comes up, how much is it going to cost for live mushrooms? It's not coming up. I think it, since I think I'm not subscribed to them yet, I'm wondering I may not be able to get the prices. Oh no, here we go. Well, these are all tinctures. There's a grow kit to grow them. Oh, they're not selling any live. They're not selling fresh yet. So let's see what they're about us. Here's all the places they sell, all these different farmers markets. I don't think it's going to show their how they sell, or excuse me, how they grow them. Yeah, it's not showing that. Shows all their different mixes you can buy. Yeah, they're a work in progress, as all businesses are.
Yeah, Robert put in a price, 17.50 per pound.
Is that his guess, or did he research it and knows that that's what it was?
I think let's unmute Robert and let's see if we want to talk. Robert, I will allow you to talk.
So here's another view of one that's producing in Detroit. And these are morels. Wow, he's growing those indoors. And a lot bigger than the one in LA. He's doing 30,000 pounds a week, where the one in LA, if you remember, was 1,000 pounds a week. They have 80 employees. Hen of the Woods is their most highly sought mushroom they produce. Up in the top of it, I had some images. So there's where they look like. There's their grow room area. Well, that's the end of that ad. Story, excuse me. Here's one. This is about the same one we were reading before. It's a different article, but it's about the fungi valley. They're very easy to grow, everybody. Here's one called greenleaf. And they show all their partners that don't just grow mushrooms, they grow all kinds of things. Lots of them. This is kind of a neat website. Well, what else do we have? Any other new thoughts from people? Alicia's got some things on growing YouTube videos and such. Lion's Bane's kits. Mycopolitan.com. They grow king trumpets. Lots of different mushroom types here. No, these are the ones that buy from them. They're shiitake, blue oyster, whole wide variety of them. Black pearl, chestnut, lion's mane, trumpet. Doesn't show their growing situation. Farm tour. There's a video.
Gonna do a little tour. It's May the 20th, 2020. You got the shiitakes. This run's looking nice.
You hear
Got
this,
some
Mark?
more first flush kings.
Yep, audio
That
is
were
good.
but you know, something. Got some first flush chestnuts over there. Ready to pick. Some blue oysters that were, they started pinning in incubation, so we probably didn't catch them until day 2, and they grow real fast, so they kind of get that mottled, weird coloration thing. These are looking a little better. Some chestnuts that at this temperature will be ready in a couple days, probably. Lions another day or 2 here. Hopefully
Mark,
none
are
of them
you
will fall
hearing
off.
Dialogue here.
Getting better at that.
Yep,
Not
I'm
dropping
hearing it.
lions on the floor. Black poplars. Sorry, not black poplars. Sorry, black
You
pearl
remember,
oysters.
Michael Botts
These are looking
here
all
again
kinds of
runs a
weird.
facility like this in
But they're
Colorado.
cool when they're weird, and they taste just as good.
Wow.
He took us
They
in
just
and
got,
showed it to us.
they were in a spot that was actually building more CO2, and then it was a little bit too wet at times. But we were rearranging some things in the grow room, and that's kind of the cool thing about having wheelie shelves is, you know, they're mobile, and you know, when we have different stuff on different levels, it's usually a humidity thing, because up higher away from the floor and also under the lights is typically drier than down below. And we got some second flushers down here, some more reishi. Just opened these reishi up yesterday. Blue oysters. This one's pretty cool. This one got a little more, had a hole up top in incubation. Usually they look like more like this. All right.
So they're obviously in a almost a greenhouse type building. It was interesting.
Looked like a warehouse.
Yeah, well, but it was, if you looked at it carefully, it was inside a warehouse.
Okay.
I was just gonna see if we could see them selling them right here. It looks like they have a farm share. $29 a box, that's not bad. 38 for their big box. I don't know how large their boxes are.
So Alicia had raised her hand, so should we unmute her or
Or-
did she? Okay, I have allowed her to speak, so she may.
These are the guys that are running it. Well, anything else in this in the chat about mushrooms? Here's Robert put in about Micropolitan, 6,000 square foot in a warehouse basement in Erie in Philadelphia, 4 employees, great CSA program. And we're on their website right now, so that's what it is. They have a bi-weekly pickup of 2 and 2.3 pounds of 4 different varieties. And that's probably what those $28 to $38 boxes were. Doesn't seem crazy, doesn't seem like a bad price. Here's a startup. Let's just see what this one is. This is a long.
Welcome to Rooted and Reaching, a startup podcast about entrepreneurs and founders in the South Bend Elkhart region. I'm Bethany Hartley with Startup South Bend.
This crop, which is a fascinating. Could you geek out a little bit on what is interesting to you about mushrooms?
The thing about mushrooms is like one thing I always tell somebody, because I get a lot of people that send me pictures of mushrooms they find in their yards asking if they can eat them or cook them. And something I jokingly always tell people is you can eat any mushroom at least once. But the thing about the specialty mushrooms is just all the different uses that they have. I mean, the nutritional value that comes with some of these mushrooms. I mean, they all have their different tastes, their different textures, their different smells, and it's like, you take a king trumpet mushroom or a blue oyster or a lion's mane mushroom, and comparing these mushrooms is kind of like comparing an apple to a head of lettuce. Just the difference in them. I mean, and just the taste, the taste of them. I mean, just eating them isn't the only use that they have. You know, I fell down this rabbit hole of finding all these different applications people were, you know, using specialty mushrooms for, from anything like myco remediation. I'm stumbling over
Mycoremediation.
words here. Michael remediation, where, you know, they're finding these mushrooms growing out in Chernobyl that are actually eating the radioactive,
wow.
the radiation and out of the ground and out of the earth.
Oh.
You have people making packaging out of mushrooms based solely off of specialty mushrooms and the mycelium that they grow. You have people, you know, doing a lot of really awesome stuff with specialty mushrooms, not just eating them and cooking them.
Yeah. I mean, I think the normal paradigm for the average consumer is going to be that small place in the supermarket with the white mushrooms. Which are what are those?
Those would be just white button mushrooms.
White button mushroom, perfect. Yeah. And that and Super Mario Brothers. I think that's your average consumer's just affiliation with this space. But those you told me before, those are more commodity based mushrooms. Those
Yes.
are kind of the average run of the mill, and those are produced in a different way than what your approach is. How are
All right, we're going to move away and use the last. I'm going to have a hard stop today because of this travel that I'm doing. Let's just see if we've got any other questions. I'm getting rid of the share, actually.
Yeah,
And
I have Alicia and Robert both unmuted. If they would like to talk, they can. And we have a new,
okay.
I think someone who just joined for the first time, Steve. And if he wants, we
Yeah,
can
have him
talk.
unmute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Steve's been on before, but I don't know that he's come and
Okay.
spoken with us.
Right. If he wants, he can also speak with his microphone.
Everybody's being shy. Come on, somebody speak up. Don't say we didn't offer.
Yep. Especially Robert. Robert is not shy. I know that.
Yeah.
He's been on several times.
Yeah, Alicia too.
Alicia too, yes.
Well, we're not going to force anybody to do anything. But look at all
Right.
these different articles here about how much can you make growing mushrooms? $500 an hour. This guy goes with Profo Mark. Little girl asks Elon Musk about God. Oh, that doesn't have anything to do with with mushrooms. How much? Here we go. Three gentlemen from Bangladesh collaborated to buy a 21-acre farm near Vineland, New Jersey. Robert helped to establish the irrigation systems, get qualified
Yeah.
compost delivered, and the three-phase electric service. Wow. They
Yeah.
offered me 5 acres they had not intended to use for the first 2 years there. And I was growing pasture, sweet potatoes, beets, and I had a small fleet of organic antibiotic free pastured broilers. It was a great 2 years. Okay, so this has been a while ago. This is kind of cool. That's kind of neat. $17.50 a pound for lion's mane. You need 65-degree temperatures. Yep. Jalapeno would work. Yes, it would. Environmental ethics of running a logging business. We haven't talked about that before. That's a great topic. Ethics and logging. There's a 3-part series on beekeeping. Beekeeping yeah, she says Robert says he's in a library, so that's why he can't talk, Mark. Well, we're going to end a little early today, everybody. I'm a little bit tight on scheduling to travel, and I'm going to be back for next Thursday, coming back on New Year's Eve, and going to be probably up at Riggins next Thursday. So we'll make our webinar from there. You guys are awesome as always. We talked about mushrooms today. We talked about rodent control using organic repellents, peppermint and other things of that nature, and not just for rodents. It would also work for other pests, including beetles. So, and then a little bit more talk about Bangladesh and what people are growing there. And then even the carnivorous squirrel. We didn't really talk a lot about that one, but we did mention it. It's been fun. So I think we're going to call it. Let's ask one last call for questions. Got one more comment here. Thanks, folks. Enjoy your week. Well, I do think we'll call it for the day, Mark. Have a great one. Happy New Year if we don't catch you before then, and we'll talk next Thursday. Bye.